Clouds passing high over the 10th Avenue Bridge and the Mississippi River here in Minneapolis. A gorgeous scene. And you've got it on 2K Sports for Wednesday night action in the NBA. Kevin Harlan here, and I'm joined by Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg with David Aldridge on our sideline. And now a chance to take a look at some numbers for Towns.
And in the last 5 games, he's made a bunch of hustle plays on the glass more than anywhere else. His rebounding totals in these games shows a dramatic increase from his numbers during the rest of the season.
And with pregame routines coming to an end, we're just about ready for our tip-off. First, though, let's get a report from the sideline and say hello to David Aldridge.
In 2018, the Minnesota Timberwolves broke their league-leading 14-year playoff drought with the help of Jimmy Butler. But a year later, Butler demanded a trade, and the Wolves were back in the lottery. They've got some young talent, but in the West, it's no cakewalk. Kevin, they are hoping they can take that next step with new management and some young, exciting players.
All right, David, thanks. Clark, I'm so familiar with when you played and you were dominant in the post, and that's the same for a few players I know you admire tonight.
Yeah, you know, Kevin, it's much harder now to consistently score inside because teams defensively are so much quicker to double team you and get the ball out of your hands if you're a good low post scorer.
They read defensively well, and they rotate Clark so quickly. I'm always amazed at that.
Fast and hard.
And the starting group for the Spurs. It's Aldridge at the power forward with Pirtle at center. White is out there with Murray, and it's DeRozan in at the small forward. And for the Timberwolves, Covington at the 4 with Towns in at the 5. Teague is at the point with Wiggins at the 2. And it's Culver in at the 3. Now here's White, 5 to shoot. Rebounded by Covington. Wiggins surveying the floor. And it's Towns missing. And the Spurs with possession. Here's White. And the layup's good off the glass. White's got the first points on the scoreboard for the Spurs.
And that'll start us off already. You can feel the tension in this arena.
Boy, I tell you, you're right. You can feel this one looking like it's going to be a tight one throughout.
How about the recognition from Culver? Terrific at realizing when the defense has broken down.
Teague against Murray. From the wing. The shot, no good.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
And a wide open look here for Wiggins. Misses the 3. Spurs have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. Here's Murray. He feeds it to Aldridge. Towns with the defensive effort.
And you can see the defenders afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket. But on that one, they were there.
Now here's Teague. 17 points for him last game against the Pistons in Detroit. And that one, good.
Yeah, you know, not every point guard would be able to find an open man right there, but Teague is always looking for the right play.
We're just about 2 minutes into the first quarter. It's tipped. Towns with the steal. Fast break, Minnesota. Wiggins from outside. That one misses. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. They come into this one following the loss to the Grizzlies.
I tell you, they were drawing a lot of iron from the perimeter. Couldn't get the threes to go down, and really the story of the game.
And, you know, that's a big part of how they attack and win, getting it going from the three-point line. But at the end of the day, it didn't happen.
Down low. And it's sent back by Aldridge.
He's not an easy guy to get a shot up and over. Aldridge has those long arms, and his timing's good, too.
And it's White missing. The Minnesota Timberwolves come into this one following a loss to the Pistons. Here's Wiggins. Yes, that goes in.
Yeah, going hard to the rack, making a statement here early on.
Yeah, that's how he rolls. I mean, intimidate the opponent right now.
Now here's Murray. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Memphis. Covington with the steal. Here's Wiggins. And stolen by Murray. And another turnover here by San Antonio. And a chance now to see how teams are faring across the league. Here's the latest edition of the Power Rankings. Look at Orlando. They're gaining on some of the teams above them, trying hard to crack into that top 5.
And San Antonio, they were obviously hoping to start out better. Still, too soon to panic. But lately they've had very little luck and seem to be trending in the wrong direction.
Now here's Wiggins. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against the Pistons in Detroit. Towns, the pass to Teague. And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Jakob Poeltl. That is his first foul of the game. On defense, the Spurs. Teague left side. Lays it up and banks it in.
Tell you what, guys, you've just got to give Teague a lot of credit for his focus. Very poised under pressure.
White looking around. That one, no good. Wiggins with some nice D.
And offensively, he has been a liability more than he's helped this quarter.
Back to Teague. From the arc. Score it. His third straight basket in 3 tries.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
And, you know, the Spurs are never afraid to play to the tune of their own drummer. I mean, just as the rest of the league embraces threes and layups, the Spurs going against that grain, leading the league in mid-range shots and post-ups.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. Well, you were talking about the mid-range and the post-ups. Those are the strengths of DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge.
Well, Coach Popovich has been so successful for decades because he always adapts to the strengths of his players. Outstanding coaches do that in every sport. That shot diet might not work for most other teams, but if it fits the Spurs, they'll go old school and make it work for them.
Here's Murray after the made shot from Robert Covington. To halt the run and foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. That one is on Towns.
It's really hard to stop Murray there. I mean, with his size, mobility, and speed, sometimes the defense is just forced to make an adjustment.
And the first one at the line is good. Clark, just a minute ago, you and I were talking about the challenges these players face early on in a new season.
Yeah, you know, timing is usually not quite 100%. Chemistry continues to be something you're trying to work out. Usually you're pretty healthy in the early part of the season, but as the season goes on now, you've got familiarity and comfort with each other, but sometimes the injuries pile up.
And Clark, establishing those routines you'll use throughout the regular year, correct?
That's important because it is a long season, as you well know.
Now here's DeRozan, coming in off a 41-point performance last game out. Good D by Covington. Timberwolves leading by 8. Towns at the elbow. Dishes it to Wiggins. Over White. And it's Wiggins missing.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
That one's good. Maybe that'll get him going after a 2-for-6 start.
You know, we know Murray's got some creativity to his passing game, but no need to be creative there. I mean, he sees the wide open man and zips it right to him.
And Teague's got the ball here for Minnesota. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
Yeah, they just got ambushed. Not really expecting the comeback. And I mean, it came on quick and strong, but I think it could be a good lesson for them moving forward.
Here's Towns. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
Towns, the first overall pick in 2015. A future MVP candidate. I mean, he's lived up to the billing.
And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Timberwolves.
And so far, these guys have done a fantastic job finding the open man and getting some easy baskets.
They've established their presence in the paint tonight. Also, a lot of their scoring to this point coming from down low.
The free throw drops for Towns.
And, you know, the Timberwolves made Karl Anthony Towns their franchise cornerstone going forward. Cat signed a 5-year deal worth $190 million, and really it's not even a question. He's the present and future of this team.
Rudy Gay's checked in for Jakob Poeltl. And Towns drops them both. And with Towns in his extension, Clark, it would have been hard to imagine the Timberwolves doing anything different.
Yeah, you know, I think it's really rare to find a player so complete at this young age as Towns is. I mean, the production he gives you with his scoring and rebounding is really irreplaceable. And, you know, coaches will take possessions like that all day long. Phenomenal use of the screen there.
Timberwolves leading by 6. Outside Teague, looking for Aldridge. He gets it there. 3-on-3, and stolen by Wiggins. And now the Timberwolves on the break. The fast break ends at the rim with a jam.
Tell you what, the team wants to see more of this from Wiggins, causing turnovers that get his team out in transition.
Murray against Teague. Murray dishes to Aldridge. It's tipped, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Covington.
And a moment here to see the numbers for DeRozan. Averaging about 22 points per, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. And you talk about guys who just have a nose for putting up points. He is one of them.
Yeah, he sure is, and he rarely has back-to-back bad games. If he has an off night, he usually follows that up with a big night.
Unable to get the ball in bounds, they get called for the 5-second violation. Now the Timberwolves with it. They're on a 17-7 run. Napier kicks to Covington. Here's Towns. A chance there to push it to double digits, but it's off the mark.
Just doing the job on the backboard.
They sure are. I mean, they've done a terrific job carving out space under the basket and then pursuing the ball. You know, it's one thing to box out, but you've got to pursue the ball if you're going to get rebounds. And they look strong here in the early going. No defensive pressure at all. I mean, that's not going to get it done against him.
So it's Minnesota now. 6-point lead. Napier finds Covington. Floats one. And the level of detail that Robert Covington approaches defense with is just phenomenal. He is always prepared for his matchup.
Yeah, and that's why he's an outstanding defender, Kevin, because he's got the physical attributes. He's got excellent speed and quickness for a guy of his size, good length and strength, outstanding hands. But he does a nice job of studying his opponent and what he needs to do to be effective defensively. I think he's one of the better defenders in the game and on the wing.
Free throw drops for Covington. Mark, you and I are sitting here watching this game, broadcasting the game. There are a lot of times that the fans can't see how emotionally charged up you are over some of the things you see on the floor, good and bad.
Hey, I love great basketball. Excellent passing, tremendous hustle, creativity on your moves. One of the things that really excites me, though, is to see the ball pop and end up in a three-point shooter's hands, and he's able to knock one down because the crowd is able to follow that ball, and the anticipation just kind of rises as it gets to the designated shooter. I love guys going after rebounds on the offensive glass.
That's a great example about the three-point shot, though, Clark. I love that. It's terrific. Now, here's Napier following the shot by Rudy Gay. Now, here's Napier. D right on him. Mills with the rebound.
Oh, you've got to be able to deliver when you get a bunny like that. That's just too easy of a shot to miss.
And the shot goes down.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Here's Napier. And out of bounds as San Antonio gains possession. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. Taking a look at Minnesota. They're down in 9th place so far, still early in the season. And, of course, San Antonio, a game behind.
And, you know, for the Spurs, with the start they've had, they've taken what was such a hopeful preseason and turned the mood sour.
Can't remember the last time I've seen optimism turn to pessimism as quickly as I have with these guys. I mean, their fans are already talking about who needs to be replaced.
Covington wide open. He fires. A three-pointer off the mark. Spurs trail by 5. Now here's Bellinelli. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. Over Vonleh. No good on the shot. A bit long that time. Minnesota's gone a meager 1 of 6 from three-point land since we got started tonight. Covington powered down after the assist. Let him into the lane.
Man, I like to see Covington get aggressive in the paint, sending a message to the defense with that dunk.
Mills looking it over. Pass to Carroll. Gay right side. Over Vonleh. Tried to bank it in, but he misses.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense. It's still early on in this new basketball season for San Antonio. And here's where they sit in the NBA rankings.
And looking again at those second chance points, they might not be the best in that area, but it is still, I think, to their advantage in terms of the outcome of some games.
Free throw drops for Covington.
And you gotta love the mindset of Robert Covington when he plays defense. So active with his hands and feet, rarely gets fooled on any up fakes or jab steps.
And both free throws good for Covington. You know, it's easy to see why, Greg, Covington has been named to first-team all-defense in the past.
The team is noticeably different when his defensive presence is missing. I mean, rare to find a perimeter player who is as good as him, both on and off the ball. And he has definitely been struggling in this quarter.
You know, guys, it seems to me...
Oh, the power on that throwdown!
Spectacular move. Wiggins' elevation, body control, strength, elite across the board.
Now here's Mills. Napier covering. And Mills kicks to Lyles. 6 on the shot clock. Bellinelli passes to Gay. The 17-footer. And Napier pulls it down.
Boy, this is bad. Tough to watch. I mean, this is really bad. He's stone cold this quarter. Man.
And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for the Spurs. They trail by 11. There's 1:17 left here in the opening quarter. Mills passes to Gay. Carroll against Covington. Lyles kicks to Bellinelli. Again, the miss by the Spurs. Minnesota leading by 11. Outside, Covington. No good on the 3. The Spurs shooting a lowly 30% to start this game out. Here's Mills. Another miss, and they desperately need a bucket. Timberwolves shooting the ball to the tune of 41% from the field so far. Jang, no luck. Spurs trail by 11. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And the rejection by Jang. 2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. And here's Covington from the arc. The rebound by the Spurs. Gay's got his 5th rebound in this one. Bellinelli passes to Gay. And then Gay with the dunk.
Yeah, and Gay can certainly slam it home. Got to keep this guy away from the rim or he's going to posterize you.
Wiggins outside. And that one released in time, but no good. And that does it for the first quarter. Minnesota on top, up 9. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And in 2018, DeMar DeRozan opened up about his battles with depression, hoping to have a positive impact on others.
A lot of people ashamed to talk about it. Even myself, for a long period of time, people wonder why I was such a quiet guy, and that was part of it, not wanting to speak out about it, not wanting other people to know exactly what I was going through. But you get to a certain age where you feel like it's all about helping others. It's not about you just being a selfish person about the things you're going through. Other people going through stuff as well.
Yep, you love the honesty and the bravery to step forward and tell his emotional story.
Yeah, he opened a dialogue. Kevin Love following his lead to talk about anxiety. Athletes, as public figures, can have a broader impact than just entertaining, and we see it over and over again.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And what do you guys think about Minnesota here in this one?
I mean, offensively, I thought they did a good job of protecting the ball. And defensively, boy, were they disruptive.
Yeah, I like the way they forced a ton of turnovers and then took advantage of those turnovers with opportunistic baskets.
And a chance here presented by Gatorade to see who's on the floor, all fueled up and ready to go for the start of the second quarter. So on the floor for Minnesota, Napier is out there with Andrew Wiggins. Then there's Vonleh. Then it's Gorgui Dieng. And it's Layman in at the 3 slot. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. Pirtle, he is checked in for San Antonio. Minnesota leading by 11. Napier with it. And it's a defensive 3-second violation. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And, you know, even though in today's game floor spacing is all the rage, the last 5 years the Wolves attempted the fewest threes in the league. And when they did shoot them, they didn't make very many of them.
Culver's checked in for Andrew Wiggins. Now here's Culver. Bellinelli is covering. Culver kicks to Napier. Knocked loose. 6 to shoot. He feeds it to Vonleh. Second shot opportunity. No luck. They battled on the glass but couldn't knock it down. Spurs trail by 12. Here's Mills. He's just scored his first basket with that shot, making him 1 for 4.
And when Pirtle sees a guy on his team open, he finds him right away, whipping that pass there directly.
So it's Minnesota now. And on top of their troubles from range, the Wolves have also had trouble on the defensive glass.
Yeah, and if you can't rebound and you're not shooting it well, you've got to figure out who you're going to be. Your identity is in question. That's what the Wolves are trying to figure out. Who are we? What do we do well? How do we win? How do we succeed? To get to the next level, they've got to answer that question.
Now here's Mills. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
And you know, guys, I love his fight and grit on the interior. I mean, he never lets a shot go uncontested.
They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now, they need a basket.
Passes it to Lyles. Second chance shot. And Mills kicks to Lyles. Gets the jumper from the corner to fall. Lyles got his first basket of the night.
Yeah, you know, Mills is one of those energizing players who does a little bit of everything, including finding his open teammates.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, Kevin, my cousin LaMarcus Aldridge is not the flashiest player, but he is respected. His former teammate in Portland, C.J. McCollum, said he hasn't changed his game to try and fit the new NBA. He shoots mid-range, scores under the basket, strong as heck. He knows who he is. And Kevin, LaMarcus isn't really my cousin, but his game never goes out of style.
You're right, D.A., and he is still getting it done. Thank you. Now, here's Napier. He's a good contributor to his team, averaging about 10.5 points a game.
Nothing seems to be going down for him today.
Now, here's Mills. Jang defending. Mills passes to Lyles. Carroll, no one around him. Off the mark, had a chance to trim it to single digits. Here's Napier. And once again off the mark by Minnesota. And so it's Mills who will bring it up for the San Antonio Spurs. They've only allowed 5 points in the quarter. On the wing, Bellinelli. Here's Lyles. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Lyles got 5 points now this quarter. So it's the Timberwolves now. 7-point differential. The Wizards on the road to face them after this game. And that will be the middle game of this 3-game homestand. Napier dishes to Vonleh. No good that time. The Spurs have gone 3 of 8 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. Now here's Carroll. He's tightly guarded. Out to the wing. Here's Lyles. Rebound, Minnesota. On this matchup with the Spurs, it's their first meeting of the season.
In this game, just the first of 4 meetings between these two. They'll get quite familiar with each other by season's end.
You know what, guys? I don't know. I get the feeling that this could be an interesting matchup this season. This first game will tell us a lot.
Just 3 to shoot. There's Layman. And it comes off the front of the rim.
You almost have to assume he's going to knock those down when he is that open.
And here's Mills. The dish to Bellinelli. Lyles kicks to Bellinelli. Over Vonleh. The shot by Bellinelli. No good. Timberwolves leading by 7. Over in the corner. To end the drought. And Pirtle pulls it down. Pirtle's got his 6th rebound on the night.
Well, the shot repertoire of Jakob Pirtle, mostly 10 feet and in, is his strength. He's an old-school big man in every sense of the word, but efficient in what he does.
And once again off the mark by Minnesota. Spurs trail by 7. In the corner, it's Bellinelli. No good with the triple. Minnesota's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. And Clark at 7 feet tall. Pirtle a wide body in there.
He's live, and he's also no stiff, guys. Pirtle can catch and finish. He's active in defending. Gets off the ground quickly and easily. I like his package as a big guy.
San Antonio calls timeout.
Trying to find some answers offensively.
Yeah, and you know, that's going to be the focus of this timeout. They need to come up with a spark to get the offense going.
Towns, he's checked in for the Timberwolves. Teague comes in for Napier. So San Antonio going with an almost entirely new group here. Marcus Aldridge is checked in for Lyles. DeMar DeRozan comes in for DeMar Carroll. White, he's checked in for Marco Bellinelli. And Murray's subbed in for Patty Mills. Now here is Aldridge from 17 feet out. That one's a miss. His 3rd shot of the game. He's made one of them. Culver passes to Teague. Now here's Culver. White covering. The kick out to Towns. Aldridge trying to break free. They get it back. Jang. Aldridge with some nice D. Spurs trail by 10. And DeRozan, here we go. That one dropped for his second bucket. Mark him 2 for 4.
You know, it's really the defining part of DeRozan's game, driving the basketball hard at defenders, and he'll come right at you with athleticism and strength.
Now here's Towns. No good from 11 feet. DeRozan scanning the floor. Over in the corner, White. And foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line. It goes on Jarrett Culver. Well, Clark, underrated athleticism for Derek White. For a 6'4" guard, he can finish above the rim.
And not only that, guys, but he also blocks shots. I mean, coming out of college, he and #1 pick Markelle Fultz, the only players in the Pac-12 that rank top 10 in scoring, assists, and blocks. That's a heck of a triple.
And that one falls for White.
Derek White played his first 3 years at Division III UC Colorado Springs. This guy ended up being the 29th pick in the 2017 draft out of Colorado. In his lone season with the Buffaloes, he was all Pac-12 first team and all defense.
Looking at who's out there now for the Timberwolves. Robert Covington's checked in for Gorgie Dan. And Wiggins is subbed in for Lehman. And coming out of high school, White's only scholarship offer was a partial one to Colorado Springs.
And you know what, guys? Sometimes rejection like that can actually fuel you to greater heights. It put a chip on his shoulder. He plays with an edge. He improved, transferred to the Pac-12 for his senior season, and really the rest is history. He's got a promising future as an NBA player in front of him.
Here's Aldridge after the made shot from Karl Anthony Towns. Off on the layup.
Well, you know, this is what happens. You can't afford to lose concentration, even for a nanosecond.
Here's Wiggins, plenty of space. LaMarcus Aldridge grabs the miss.
He has to make that one. I mean, you have to make the defense pay when they slough off of you like that.
Murray, no good.
And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
And, guys, that's exactly the kind of high-impact defense they want to see out of him.
Towns with the bucket.
You know, for a guy with Towns' size, I mean, to have this level of body control, tell you what, it's no wonder the contact didn't bother the shot.
Now here's Murray. He provides a good amount of offense for the team, averaging around 11.5 points a game.
You know, in the loaded West, DeMar DeRozan, not an all-star last season after being one multiple times in the East. His first time missing the festivities in 4 seasons.
The Spurs have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight. He's off on the first. You talk about that edge, Clark, for DeRozan, very focused on proving his doubters wrong.
Nothing wrong with playing with something to prove, with that kind of attitude and mindset, turning that negative into a positive. And most importantly, it can't just be a mindset. You have to put the work into it as well. And he's done that, gotten better each year.
Now here's Teague. He's got 7. Covington trying to break free. A nice shot by Teague. Teague's got 9.
Those defenders just look a little bit gassed. I mean, they're getting pushed around on that low block.
Murray against Teague. Murray, the pass to DeRozan. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. And that's now 7 points for DeMar DeRozan.
Boy, sometimes there's just no stopping DeRozan. When he's determined to score, he's going to fight his way through contact.
And Teague's got the ball here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. And stolen by Murray. Now Pirtle. He's been patient so far. Nothing on the scoreboard yet. Murray finds White. It's good from about 19 feet.
Boy, you look at him. He's a quality floor general who knows exactly how to dish the ball to his teammates. Murray, nice job there running the offense.
Minnesota leading by 7. There's the pass to Culver. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Culver's got 4 points now in the quarter.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Pirtle, no one around him. Rebound, Minnesota. Covington's got 6 rebounds now in the game.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
And that's what the pump fake's there for. Get your man off his feet and drive right around it.
Teague bounce pass. Here's Towns, and again it's Minnesota.
Man, have they been effective at getting the ball inside.
I tell you, we're taking a look at some real deficiencies defensively. I mean, they've given up 5 straight good looks in the paint.
Pirtle's shot is off. Timberwolves leading by 9. Tries it from the top of the key. Culver's shot is off. San Antonio's gone 1 of 2 on 3-pointers here in the second quarter so far. Murray outside. He dishes it to Aldridge. Double team on Aldridge. Rebounded by Covington. Covington's got his 7th rebound of the game with that last one. A shot by Culver. Nobody around. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got 5 assists in the game. And Murray, here we go. And with that shot, the Timberwolves lead is cut down now to just 9 in the bucket from Aldridge.
You know, there are some that say Aldridge likes his mid-range game a little too much, but hey, there's a lot to like about the way he shoots it from there.
Teague, the pass to Towns. Here's Covington. Goes up high for the 2-handed dunk.
Whoa, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the 2-hand slam.
Really piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Now here's Murray. Outside DeRozan. Pass to Aldridge. Spurs working the ball around now. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's White. Offline with his 3. It's stolen by DeRozan. Pass to Pirtle. Just 3 on the clock. The putback. And oh, he hits the buzzer beater.
And you know what, guys? Given his wingspan and vertical, Murray is a threat on the offensive glass. And boy, do I love his energy.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low. So many of their points coming right at the rim. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. Jeff, you guys had a great first half. Is the key to the second half to continue to be that aggressive?
Yeah, we got to play defense. They're a really good team. They're going to play hard. They're real physical. We just got to come out and keep guarding.
Jeff, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, David, much appreciated. And now time for halftime. So we'll be back in just a bit to get the third quarter underway.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. This is Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is right here. Say hey to the folks, Kenny.
Hey, folks.
Say hey to the
Yeah,
folks, Shaq.
Hey, folks.
Hey, let's get this party started.
Okay.
It's Minnesota out in front at the half. They have a 9-point lead. How about you, Shaq? What'd you think about Minnesota?
Well, they really dictated the pace of the game with their transition game. They got out on the break every chance they had, and the time they could push the tempo, they did. And a lot of times it kept the defense scrambling like eggs with the cheese and apple juice.
Kenny, how do you think San Antonio played?
Poor efficiency on offense. That's what jumps out at me. You aren't going to win many games shooting under 35%. Bad shot selection, too much one-on-one play, not finishing with authority. Now, these are correctable errors. They could choose to come out in the second half and completely flip that script.
And that does it for our halftime show. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the third period.
And we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast so far. We're halfway through the game. You look at Robert Covington. What a contribution.
No problems fighting his way to the rim in this one. A lot of points in close.
Yeah, you know what, guys? They gave him too many free runs to the hoop in the first half. I think they've got to be a lot tougher on him. Body him up. Be physical with him.
And we've got third quarter of basketball for you. 2 quarters in the books. Clark, a lot of coaches like to run their offense through centers. Any names you can think of who you'd be comfortable running your offense through at that position?
Well, just because I've watched him and loved his game since locking into him, Jokic.
Yes.
Man, can he pass it. He can shoot it. He can score it inside. He's got such excellent hands and touch. He's at the top of the list. DeMarcus Cousins, big guy that can shoot it and pass it as well. And Marc Gasol is also in that list.
Yeah, you'd feel comfortable with any of those guys holding the ball, distributing the ball, wouldn't you?
No doubt.
On the floor for San Antonio, it's Aldridge at the power forward with Pirtle at center. Murray out there with White, and it's DeRozan in at the small forward. Now here's Towns, and the last few years, Karl Anthony Towns getting a rap as a bad defender. Clark, do you think that's fair to say?
You know what, Kevin? I don't think it's as fair as it once was. He's not nearly the defensive liability he used to be. He's better defensively one-on-one, and I think he's improved in his ability to switch and rotate on smaller players.
The free throw drops for Towns.
And, you know, guys, the Spurs team dinners, the stuff of legends, just building camaraderie and getting to know one another and being orchestrated with care by head coach Greg Popovich. They enjoyed the finest restaurants and great food and drink, but the fellowship and camaraderie, probably the most important part of those dinner gatherings.
It's been a really good day for him at the line. Some other bigs have well-documented problems on their free throws. He's not one of them.
Covington against Aldridge. Double team on Aldridge. Shoots over Covington. Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut to just 7 on the basket from Aldridge. And Clark, the act of getting dinner, sitting down to a meal, as a team, it brings people together.
It really does, guys. I can't overstate it. When you get a chance to know your teammates off the court, it adds to your ability to play for them on the court. It can't always be just about grind, grind, grind. There has to be some compassion, some caring, some understanding, and sometimes the best places to do that are at restaurants with good food and good drink.
Now Aldridge, after the missed 3 from Karl Anthony Towns.
On a nice little roll here to start this half, connecting on their first 3 attempts.
And it's Teague with the ball, but he brings it up for Minnesota. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. And it's sent back by Aldridge. They retain possession. Covington dishes to Towns. The kick out to Teague. Clock at 6. Another shot. A rebound by the Spurs. Aldridge has got 10 rebounds here tonight. So active. Count that one. And the Timberwolves lead has been cut down to just 2 points on the bucket from DeMar DeRozan.
And still perfect in the second half. 4 straight makes.
For Minnesota, they've gone 0 of 5 to the start of the second quarter. Extremely cold shooting coming out of the locker room. The baseline J. They grab their own miss, and it's sent back by Aldridge. Guys, a potent offense right now.
You know what, guys? And they're playing with a certain amount of assuredness in their game. That type of confidence is what leads teams to having success.
Pirtle's shot is off.
But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
And it's Wiggins missing.
Talk about hurting your team. I mean, he just can't get anything to go out there.
Murray. And it's all evened up. Murray's got 9.
Murray showing you real poise that time, guys, converting on aggressive defense. The concentration, outstanding.
Minnesota shooting 31%, not looking sharp offensively to say the least. Passes to Towns. Shoots over Pirtle, and it's off the back rim. No good. Here are the Spurs with the ball. They're on an 11-2 run. In the corner, Murray with it for the lead. A second chance effort, and it's finished off inside by Pirtle. Pirtle's got his first basket.
And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
Minnesota calls timeout. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Some changes for Minnesota. Jang, he's checked in for Robert Covington. Jake Layman comes in for Culver. And it's Napier in for Wiggins. Trey Lyles checked in for San Antonio. Bellinelli comes in for White. Now here's Teague. 9 points in the game so far. Good, nice play there from Napier.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Well, I'm going to credit the screen. I mean, that's a good, strong pick he lays there.
Teague against Murray. Outside Aldridge. Outside DeRozan. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
It's common to see wing players improve their perimeter shooting in the league, but DeMar DeRozan's most striking growth has been his ball handling and playmaking. He's been dynamic with the ball in his hands.
That's good from DeMar DeRozan. And Greg DeRozan watching a ton of films of guys like Andre Miller and Sam Cassell operating in the pick and roll.
Not only that, Kevin, to strengthen his left hand, he'd use it for daily activities like writing, leaving no stone unturned to become an expert initiator.
DeMar DeRozan hits them both.
You know, guys, DeRozan hasn't just had a great NBA career. I mean, he's had international success, too. 2 gold medals with Team USA from the Rio Olympics and the 2014 World Cup.
Now here's Teague. 9 points in the game so far. Jang finds Napier. Goes back up. The shot, no good. Nice D from Aldridge. On the sideline, let's catch up with Hall of Famer David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, for the last 5 years, the Golden State Warriors have been the colossus that stood over the NBA. And there were thoughts that most teams were not willing to do things to be competitive, knowing that they could not beat the Splash Brothers, Draymond Green, and then Kevin Durant. But the Warriors lost to the Raptors in the finals last year, combined with the injuries to Durant and Klay Thompson, have opened things up. And for the first time in a long time, there are any number of teams in this league that believe it's their time.
Probably so. The West is strengthened. There's no doubt, DA. Interesting matchups coming up for sure. Thank you. Here's Napier, following the score by DeMar DeRozan. Back to Towns. Jang inside. Aldridge is covering. Jang, no luck.
And the well is running dry for him right now. Nothing falling.
And, you know, you can sense his frustration. This is going to be a test of his resolve here.
Now, here's Aldridge. Aldridge double-teamed. Lyles kicks to DeRozan. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Aldridge. That misses off the backboard.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
And really, the defense fouling there to prevent the layup, but that's exactly what you need to do.
It is. I mean, no reason to back off and give him the layup. I mean, much better off making him go to the line.
All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for San Antonio.
And I like how they've taken the high percentage shot in the paint. In that first half, we saw them doing it, and they've continued to succeed as the game has worn on.
I've been impressed with how well they penetrated tonight, too.
And he sinks the second. And Clark, when you think back to your playing days in high school, what memories come to mind?
Well, just the fun of being able to have success all 4 years I was at St. Joseph High School in Cleveland, the way the city rallied around us my senior year when we had a chance to play for a state championship. Unfortunately came up short. The teammates and coaches and teachers that I had a chance to enjoy those 4 years with, all really fond, special memories for me.
Oh, just solid on the one-handed slam.
And guys, when it's a tight ball game like this, he's the guy they want with the ball.
Somebody you can count on. He is an extremely reliable finisher.
San Antonio calls timeout, and the Spurs with some changes. Rudy Gay's checked in for Lyles. Damari Carroll comes in for DeMar DeRozan. And it's Mills in for Murray. Now, here's Mills. Kicks to Carroll. The pass to Gay. Spurs working the ball around now. Shoots a fader. Aldridge can't get it to go.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
And, Greg, we've seen it time and time again in games. Effort and determination on the glass can make up for a lot of other weaknesses. You've got to box out on the boards. When you don't, that's what happens.
Mills passes to Aldridge. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
And in a league that's obsessed with threes and layups, LaMarcus Aldridge defying the trend, really feasting on a steady diet of mid-range jumpers.
And the first one drops. And that turnaround jumper of Aldridge's, Greg, just impossible to defend.
Long arms, that high release point, when it's falling, well, we saw him give OKC 56. This man can take over.
And Clark, ordinarily quiet by nature, LaMarcus Aldridge has become a more outspoken leader in recent years.
Yeah, and that's a good sign. Sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone for the good of the team. Aldridge is by nature a laid-back, quiet guy, and sometimes that can work against the team, but in his case, he realized that he needed to be more vocal and stepped into doing that.
And I'll tell you who I feel for. The Wolves fans. One playoff appearance in the last 15 years.
Yeah, and you know, they've had some exciting talent in Minnesota, guys, but they've done very little winning with that talent. I think the good news, though, when you want to spin it positively, they still have that talent, and a lot of the talent is young.
And free throw good from Gay.
You know, after suffering a devastating Achilles tendon injury during the 16-17 season, Gay has bounced back really well. I mean, has quietly become a much better outside shooter, too.
Now here's Jang. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Here's Teague. That shot off. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Teague against Bellinelli. Mills in the corner. Lays it up off the glass. Mills has got the lead up to 6 now for the Spurs.
And Kevin, after being unable to find the net in the first half, they sure seem to be a different team here in the second.
Exactly. I mean, finding their stride offensively, and they're on top on the scoreboard, and things are looking pretty good for them right now.
And stolen by Aldridge. Here's Bellinelli. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line. It's on Jeff Teague.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
100% since halftime. Come on now. I'm not sure this lead's going away anytime soon with that kind of marksmanship.
That free throw, no good.
And the Spurs, I've heard it said, the most process-oriented team in the league.
Well, that's an understanding of what it takes for them as a small market team to be successful. A good assessment of what they have to do as the San Antonio Spurs to be good. Scouting, coaching, chemistry, all part of that.
And the second free throw, good.
And one thing the Wolves have done well over the past few seasons, taking care of the ball.
Yeah, you know, they squeeze it well. Low turnovers can be a double-edged sword, though. If you don't make many mistakes, maybe you're not being aggressive enough.
Spurs leading by 5. To the paint, here's Aldridge. Rebound by Jang.
You know, it hasn't been his best outing, but they still find themselves in the driver's seat here.
Minnesota's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Here's Teague. He's got 12.
Tell you what, say what you will about Gay and his defense, but he's working at it. Tireless effort.
Bellinelli with it. Vonleh on him. Bellinelli gets the bucket.
And there isn't a lot that they're doing well right now defensively. They just seem to be disconnected defensively in the second.
Timberwolves trail by 7. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. The Timberwolves have shot 9 of 11 at the free throw line.
And typically a strength of theirs, 79% on the season.
Really, guys, it's just come together for them at the charity stripe this season. I mean, the confidence is there, and so too are the results.
Derek White's checked in for Patty Mills. Napier up top. White covering. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. 6 on the shot clock. From the high post. The rebound by the Spurs. When this game is done, they'll be off to Orlando and they'll take on the Magic. That will conclude their brief 2-game road trip. Pass to Gay. Back to Carroll. Here's White. And a miss there on the triple. The Timberwolves trail. Feeds it to Teague. Tries again, and that one is good with the extra effort on the glass. Teague's got 5 points now this quarter.
Well, you know what, Kevin, if I'm the coach, I'm calling Teague's number every chance I get. I mean, he's in a zone right now.
White, good.
And in the first half, it was a struggle offensively, shooting a very low percentage, but it hasn't prevented them from grabbing the lead. And now they're shooting it much better here in the second.
Now here's Teague. 14 points for him. Now here's Jang. Napier with it. That is good, and the Spurs lead is cut down to 4 points. The basket there from Jang.
Kevin, a big guy with an emerging skill set. Jang ruling the paint there. Nice play.
1:19 left here in the third quarter. White. Another one falls for San Antonio. And it's Teague with the ball, but he brings it up for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Pass to Napier. Out to the right wing. Here's Lehman. Good, and it's Napier with the assist that time. Napier's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Just a little confusion among the D as to who was supposed to be on it.
Now here's White. He's got 12. To the inside. And stolen by Vonleh. Teague can't hit. They can trade 2 for 1 here.
Would be the right move, I believe, right now.
Outside, White. Kicks it out to Gay. From outside the arc, a three-pointer is right on target. Gay's got 6 here in this quarter.
Really in a good position thanks to the accuracy from beyond.
Yeah, you got that right. I mean, you got it real right. They are lighting it up from beyond the arc this half.
And here is Teague following the 3 from Rudy Gay. And here is Teague. He's got 14. Four on the shot clock. Here's Napier. And again, Minnesota with the triple.
And an eye for an eye. Both teams working to stretch the floor.
Nothing like answering back. One team gets 3, you fire 3 of your own. Boom.
And so it's DeMar DeRozan making highlights for San Antonio. What a quarter that saw them generate a great comeback effort and are now out in front with momentum behind them. And we'll be back with you shortly. Three-tenths quarters behind us. One more to go. Thanks for being with us as we begin the 4th. Now Murray. Teague is at the point with Wiggins at the 2. Vonleh's out there with Robert Covington. And it's Culver in at the 3, the small forward. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Now here's Murray. Shot clock at 6. Gay kicks to Murray. Down through the hoop it goes. That's his 5th make on 9 shots from the floor.
He's flipped the script here in this half, shooting a much higher percentage from the field.
Timberwolves trail by 5. Outside Teague. To the middle. Here's Culver. And then Culver with the dunk.
How about the force there from Culver, making sure to finish with power, leaving no doubt with that finish.
Now here's Murray. Passes it to Pirtle. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Murray's got his 8th assist in the game.
Wow, fired that bounce pass in there. Beautiful.
Here's Teague. And there's the pass to Culver. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. Wiggins from outside. And that's collected by Gay. Gay's got 8 rebounds in this game. A floater. Here's Pirtle. He kicks to Murray. The second chance effort. The second effort. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
Well, I tell you, Pirtle does a nice job using the pump fake to make defenders foul. Hard to stay on the ground when he shows you the ball.
First one falls for him. And the minutes down, Clark slightly for Pirtle last season, but his role grew down the stretch.
And not only his role grew, but I think his production improved as well. He got better as a passer. His rebounding took a jump forward. The counting stats won't wow you, but he's making progress and impacting his team in a positive way.
He makes 1 of 2 that time.
Boy, Pirtle is a massive guy, somebody that uses his height exceptionally well to get high-quality looks.
A little over a minute and a half of the 4th quarter gone now. Teague can't hit. And out of bounds as the Timberwolves gain possession. Timberwolves trail by 6. Dishes it to Wiggins. Looking to end his cold spell, and Wiggins throws it down.
And there you go, monster finish. Wiggins aggressive, attacking off the dribble.
Murray surveying the D. And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
And making his return from the ACL tear, DeJounte Murray, long, athletic, and young. He still has a very bright future.
That free throw missing. And Murray winning second team all defense in 2018. And Greg, at that time, he was only 21.
And that's been his strong suit. If he can hit perimeter shots consistently, he can be a star.
Karl Anthony Towns checked in for the Timberwolves. Now here's Teague. Towns, the pass to Wiggins. Banked in off the glass.
They're consistently finding ways to get the ball inside and taking full advantage.
Pretty clear, it's smash mouth basketball. Pound that thing inside.
Here's Murray. It's Gay on the way. Good D by Covington.
And that is a textbook example of how to defend your rim.
And you know, guys, I love his fight and grit on the interior. I mean, he never lets a shot go uncontested.
Teague can't hit.
I wonder if switching baskets really threw him off. I mean, because he can't get anything to fall this half.
And the basket by DeRozan. DeRozan's got 19 points.
And offensively, they seem to have turned a corner.
Yeah, I don't know if it's coincidence or not, but a much better half since they changed hoops. They're really looking strong here.
Now here's Covington. And the 3 off target. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the fourth quarter. And White kicks to DeRozan. And they double up DeRozan. And then Gay with the dunk.
You know, that's a veteran play. DeRozan stays open to all possibilities. That's seeing the game in front of you. Excellent find.
Timberwolves trail by 7. Here's Teague. Six to shoot. The Timberwolves again can't hit. Spurs leading by 7. Here's White to the inside. And the rejection by Towns.
Well, you see the great reach as well as the relentless pursuit shown by Towns. He's simply saying, not here, not now, not in my house.
Now DeRozan. Jeff Teague missing from long range. Yep, that one goes. And now it's a 9-point Spurs lead.
Well, you like guys who can work that in-between area, really keeps the defense honest.
And I tell you what, guys, I mean, with his combination of size and touch, he's a real threat from mid-range.
And it's Teague with the ball, but he brings it up for Minnesota. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
And the Timberwolves call time here. Clark, the NBA gives out so many awards at the end of the season. Is there an award missing that you'd like to see?
You know what? I think they've got the bases covered really well with the number of awards they give out, Kevin, but I would like to perhaps see consideration given to a sophomore campaign award. That would be kind of cool because sometimes the Rookie of the Year, at least recently, has been a little cloudy because a rookie had been in the league a year, Ben Simmons, case in point, and then was counted. It was actually technically his second year, but his first year of playing. Well, a sophomore award might be something worth adding to the list.
That's a great idea. Now let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Well, over the break, I listened in on Ryan Saunders' huddle. He is not pleased, and he told them they have to make a push right now. He said, look, we got to make a move or I've got to pull the plug. Pretty blunt stuff, Kevin. Back to you.
Here's Culver following the bucket by the Spurs. Outside Teague, pass to Wiggins. Now here's Culver. From deep. And Robert Covington picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. Here's San Antonio. They're on a 14-6 run. Murray with it. Culver covering. Here's DeRozan. Knocked away. And here we go. Fast break. Wiggins has got it. That's good. And so Teague with the assist. 10 points for Andrew Wiggins.
Love the aggression from Teague there to disrupt the passing lane, leading to a basket in transition. Great play.
And Murray. Here we go. And that one's good by Gay. And the Spurs lead by 11.
Their interior has been inferior defensively. It has got to tighten up.
You're right on target there, Greg. Of the last 10 points they've allowed, 8 have come from in close.
Good on the bucket.
Yeah, you look at Towns, and he's very good in the in-between game. Can knock those shots down consistent.
And the call will be against Jeff Teague. That'll be his second foul of the game. Gay against Covington. Rudy Gay on the wing. Clock at 6. Here's Murray.
And Teague knows how to mix it up on defense, too. Now, an active defender who does his best to smother shooters.
And it's Wiggins missing.
You know, he's been off tonight, off his game. At this point, he might want to focus on creating for others.
Gay passes to White and stolen by Jeff Teague. Here's Covington, laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
Covington is just so quick, leaving the defense well behind him, actually in the dust as he gets down the court.
San Antonio calls timeout. And last year, a tough one for Jeff Teague. Just couldn't put together his normal level of play.
You know, Teague missed some games with injury, but his shot just wasn't consistent. His passing and playmaking were as strong as ever, but you just couldn't rely on him to score.
And now we've got a moment for our Jordan player of the game, LaMarcus Aldridge.
And the D tried to get physical with him down low tonight, and it really backfired. Instead, he's just tore them up. He was aggressive, inviting the contact, and really just taking it straight to him.
If he could only contribute like this for them every night, you can't overstate how much better it makes this team when he has a game like this. And on the road, no less. Timberwolves trail by 9. Towns at the elbow. The dish now to Teague. Back to Towns. Pirtle with the steal. And DeRozan kicks to Gay. Murray outside. Wiggins against White. Wants to get it to Gay, and does. He was all alone on that one. Gay's got the lead up to 11 now for the Spurs.
And you can just see he's a different player since coming back from halftime.
The Timberwolves shooting in the fourth quarter has looked shabby, 38%. Pass to Culver. Passes it to Wiggins. Jacks up a 3. Culver's shot is off.
You can't miss those, but even the best do on occasion.
DeRozan dishes to Gay. Whistle blows. Bucket is good, and he'll have a chance at the line to make it a three-point play.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
And Teague's got the ball here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They trail by 14. The pass to Wiggins. Shoots over White. And it's Wiggins missing.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Now here's Murray. Here's Gay. Good, and the assist goes to Murray. Gay's got 11 points in the quarter.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint now.
Teague the pass to Towns. Covington in the corner. Over White. No good. They had a chance to end the run there.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Murray against Teague. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. That one is on Towns.
DeJounte Murray played just 1 season at the University of Washington. He grew up in Seattle and went to Rainier Beach High School. It's actually the same high school that produced Jamal Crawford, and as a matter of fact, a lot of good players have come out of the Emerald City.
Free throw good, Murray. And in Seattle, Murray recognized from a young age as a potential pro.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you can identify those specially talented players, and his nickname was Baby Boy. And how about this, Kevin? Jamal Crawford has mentored DeJounte since the 6th grade. Those guys have exchanged text messages throughout that time. Jay Crossover, one of my favorites, on and off the court in the league, really has helped keep Murray on the right track.
And the Timberwolves call time here. You gotta like what DeMar DeRozan has done in this game.
And he has absolutely worn them out in the paint. They need to come up with a plan to limit his touches in the interior.
Teague against Murray. Teague kicks to Wiggins. And stolen by White. Down low. Here's Gay. Outside DeRozan. Up and in. That's his 10th make in the contest. He has only taken 13 shots.
And their balanced effort at both ends has hushed this crowd.
Yeah, you said the key word there, balanced. I mean, their big lead owes as much to their defense as their offense.
Here's Teague following the score by DeMar DeRozan. Towns finds Wiggins, and the basket is good.
Boy, what a strong finisher Wiggins is. Try to get physical with him, and he powers right through you.
Greg, no secret that many Minnesota fans are questioning the contract they gave to Andrew Wiggins as his development has seemed to plateau.
And with all due respect to Wiggins, it would be worth worrying about if you're a Timberwolves fan. Wiggins has taken a step backwards, I feel, the last few years in his scoring and seemingly has lost the edge to his game that made him such a promising young star. And you think about the 2 best talents in Wolves history, KG obviously, and probably Big Cat.
I would not disagree. I mean, KG is a Hall of Famer, and the Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, has been terrific early in his career. The rebounding and scoring, the versatility at that size between those two guys, well, it could have possibly been like the Admiral and Tim Duncan. Well, maybe not quite that good, but really good.
Rebound by Murray. Spurs leading by 17.
And this is going to end in a lopsided victory. I love the tenacity and aggressiveness as well as the ability to close. You really got to give it up here for the Spurs.
You know, it's tough to put your finger on the deciding factor in this one, but I'd say that the shooting accuracy made the difference.
Yeah, I think you're on point, Kevin. They got better looks, and that tends to lead to a better field goal percentage.
And during the long NBA season, each contest important here tonight. Tonight's win will give them 4 on the season.
And they'll take the win tonight, setting the tone in the first matchup of this 4-game season series.
And it will be a fight, Greg. When you see an opponent that many times, it's inevitable that those games take on a little extra added meaning for the players.
And as usual, some excellent work tonight in what was a quality big impact game for DeMar DeRozan.
And, you know, there was no stopping him tonight. Whenever he got the ball, he was looking to score, and rightly so.
First free throw is good.
And the young Timberwolves head coach Ryan Saunders, son of former Minnesota coach Flip Saunders, about as great of a pedigree you could ask for as a young coach.
Well, guys, you've heard me talk about the DNA when it relates to players. It's the same with coaches. I mean, Ryan has grown up seeing his dad coach at a high level, the late Flip Saunders, one of our favorites in the business. He spent his whole life around basketball, so he has a great way with players and a real good understanding of the game, too, a modern-day approach for a young coach.
And he did everything he could to make that shot as difficult as possible.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
Now, here's Lyles. Over Napier. Once again off the mark by San Antonio. Pass to Bell. Pass to Graham. Here's Reed. DeRozan defending. The jump hook. Reed misses. Now here's Murray. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. This one was over well before the final buzzer. The fans were waiting for something to get excited about, Greg, but they never got it.
They sure didn't. I mean, they just rolled to this win. They made it look really easy. What an efficient performance at both ends.
And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thank you. DeMar, this team is playing well together. How are you encouraging and fostering that sense of all of you being together and playing well?
We're just making everybody comfortable. We're making each and everybody on this team comfortable. If it's jump shots, if it's attacking the basket, you know, even if it's on the defensive end, you know, we just giving each other confidence every time we practice.
And it sure looks like it out there tonight, DeMar. Thanks a lot. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. And we'll see you next time.